Hey guys, welcome back to my shop. This is Marc LeBlanc. This is the first in a series of 5 videos where I'm going to show you how I built a work desk for my wife. She retired last year, and as a gift, a retirement gift, I wanted to give her a work desk. So I have a total of 5 videos. This first video, which is going to be shorter, is going to show you the entire build in a condensed fashion from the beginning right up to the end. I'm going to have one video on how I made the tabletop, and I have one video, number 3, on how I turned the legs. Number 4 is going to be how I put the apron together, including mortise and tenon joinery. And the 5th one is going to be on the drawer that is part of the desk. Now, before we continue, why don't we go upstairs to my wife's office and let's take a look at that work desk. So welcome to my wife's office. This is the desk in question. Let me walk you through some of the key features of this desk. First of all, the top is made of cherry. It is 6 boards that are glued together. Each board is 5 inches wide, 59 inches long, and 1 3/8 inches thick. Alone, the top of the desk, just the tabletop, is about 60 to 70 pounds. It's a beast. Each of the legs are turned from one solid block of golden birch, 3 1/4 inches square. The apron is also made in cherry. Each board is 4 3/4 inch wide, like this. The long end is 39 inches and the short end is 15 inches. The joinery between the legs and the apron is done through mortise and tenon. Finally, the drawer. It's made using half-blind dovetails. It's big, it's got full extension slides, and it closes pretty well. I started by jointing, planing, and then ripping to 5 inches wide, 6 boards made of cherry. The boards originally were 6/4 in thickness, that means 1.5 inches, and it was rough lumber. But once the planing was done, just saw how beautiful this wood was. I then proceeded to scoring one of the ends of each of the boards, and then I set up a extension fence and a stop block so that I could rip all of my pieces to the exact same length. I used biscuits to join the top of the desk. My glue up happened in 2 phases. In the first phase, I would take 2 of the boards and glue them together. And then once those glue ups were dried up, then I glued up the 3 pairs of boards together to make the full top. The top was completely dry. I used the jack plane to plane it out. And finally, on the underside, I used a burning pen to sign my work, a little dedication to my wife. I had a pretty good idea of what the legs should look like, so I made a template with all the measurements and all the cutoff points. And using that, I was able to apply those measurements onto my blanks. My blanks, once again, are 3 1/4 inches square, made out of golden birch. We're going to show you in this video a very accelerated view of how the legs are turned. Enjoy. now time to focus on the apron, so it's back to the planer. I plane my boards. I will then joint them. And once one edge is perfectly square, I will go back to the table saw and rip them to width. The next step is to focus on the joinery between the legs and the apron. I start by cutting my mortises using a mortise attachment on my drill press. Then, using a dado blade in my table saw, I'm able to cut the initial part of the tenons on the apron pieces. Finally, using my bandsaw, I'm able to do the quick rip and shoulder cuts to cut out the remainder of the tenons. Next, I proceeded to do some assembly. So I started by assembling both short ends and the long end that does not include the drawer, and setting those aside. For the apron piece that included the drawer, I took very careful measurements and then proceeded to cut those pieces so that I would have my drawer front cut out. Along with mortise and tenon joinery, I had a system of cross braces inside of the carcass of the desk. That would enable me to solidify the structure, keep it square, and also have some sort of a brace for the drawers to work with. Next step was to do the drawer. So I'm using half-blind dovetails. You see me right now using my dovetailing jig to cut the pieces. Again, there's a video that will go into far more detail on this particular step. And it's time for some very accelerated assembly of the drawer itself. I want this piece to be an heirloom piece. So you're seeing me apply one of the 3 coats of shellac inside of the drawer. The tabletop had 2 coats of stain and 3 coats of shellac. And once all the pieces were stained and shellacked, I brought everything upstairs in my wife's office and using pocket screws, yes, pocket screws, assembled the base or leg system over to the top. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit that like button. I'd love to hear from you.